And what is up? Check. Let's try it again. And what is up, guys? Technicals Tinkers here, checking in on our little 3D print operation for today. Here's my exhibition. I own a business, has nothing to do with 3D printing, but I'm trying to do a little 3D printing business starting here at home, trying to prove the sales, trying all the different parts of 3D printing, art, functionals, etc. I don't know much about 3D printing. I'm learning as I go. Just join me in the process. It's all exhibition, not instructional. It's a lot of fun, and I hit 2,000 subscribers a couple days ago. So it's time to do a giveaway. More details on that later in the video. You gotta watch the whole video. That's the point. So what am I working on today? Well, if you saw yesterday's video, you know that I had a failure on the big rhinoceros, and I've had some failures on the Soval, and I had some failure. But it's okay because we're starting to make some progress. Character models going over here on the P1P. They're looking pretty good. I keep having errors with this yellow bamboo PLA because it keeps getting caught in the side when it's back winding. So, you know, maybe like 4 or 5 times it's happened. It's not happening so much lately as the spool settles out, but you know, I guess that just kind of comes with the territory when you're refilling filament onto spools like that. It's, unless you shake it around and settle it out, it's gonna happen. Soval, very nice to see that the Soval was able to finish this print after failing 2 times over because of extruder not being strong enough. Someone very kind telling me that I can just adjust it to tighten it up so it'll pull in, and so I'm gonna work on that today. Additionally, I'm gonna get some more cable clips because they keep bunching up there in the back and making a lot of slack, and they don't really make a chain for this, I guess, because it's Core XY, it needs to go up and down. So I'm gonna put a bunch of more clips, a bunch of more. Another thing too with this print, more evidence that I do need to tighten the extruder, is this like separation between these layer lines. Now the model seems pretty solid, so I don't think it's gonna be any sort of issue, and honestly it kind of gives it a more of a natural vibe. But I think that maybe that's what's maybe causing it too. So I'm just gonna go back through, tighten all that kind of stuff up, and hopefully we can start getting some better, more consistent prints out of the Soval. So we got our big Moai head going on here. He's been going for, I'm not sure how long, but 62 hours. I know, I haven't put the 1mm nozzle on. This print looks like it's coming out pretty good, but there are some areas I'm a little suspicious about. Let's see if some of you smart guys can tell me what's going on here. Look down in here. You see I've got grid infill or reticular infill, or grid. I can't tell the difference. First of all, it's kind of a, you know, it's not really tight. But second of all, it's not connecting to the perimeter wall on this side. It's like it goes just far enough to where it thinks it's connected, but then doesn't actually connect. And it's just over here on this side. So I guess that's an error in the slice or something. I guess that should be like one of the things I do with Giga prints, because when I'm printing something on the Cobras or the bamboo, I just kind of trust the slicer, you know, to make the infill correctly. I'm not going through and looking through it to make sure. It's not something I've ever really done, but when you got a big print like this that's using multiple kilos for one print, it's probably good practice to check it before you run it. It's a little too far gone on this for now, but overall, you know, the exterior, it leaves a little to be desired. It's like slightly flimsy, but I think once the print is complete, it will kind of all lock it in. At least I hope so anyway. But the outer portion is looking pretty good. If we're just going based on the surface finish, it's not too bad. There's a little spot right here, and like one spot like right over here that's a little globby. But again, this model's pretty well suited for a painting because it's just so simple. So that's looking good. Again, 62 hours, that's what, 3 days? What is 3 days? 2 for 72, so yeah, a little under 3 days left to finish this out. But yeah, optimistic. All right, so what about the giveaway? All right, so this time around, 2,000 subscribers, did 1 kilo of filament last time. Person never redeemed it. They never emailed me back, so they forfeit that. So this time around, I'm gonna be giving away 1 kilo of filament to 2 people, 2,000 subscribers. Hopefully I get 3,000 and can do 3, because that seems reasonable. If I get 20,000 subscribers, I should be able to bankroll 20 spools of filament. Anyway, up to a $30 value if you want one of the more exotic materials. I'll ship it to anyone in the United States, and if you live outside the United States, you can certainly win, but you have to ship it to a freight forwarder, someone in the United States, and then you handle the shipping from there, because if I ship to Uzbekistan, that's probably going to cost a lot more than $30. So how to enter, I want to keep it simple, short, and sweet, but I'm also getting something out of this because I'm not doing this out of the kindness of my heart here. So if you want to enter, there's only a couple things you absolutely have to do. You have to subscribe to me on YouTube. I can't make you do that, but honor system. Link in the description below over to Gleam, and that's how I run the competitions. The only absolute required actions, go into my YouTube channel and subscribing, although you don't have to, just to be clear, you don't have to subscribe, but let's do honor system there. And then also visit Elegoo's website, because if you need anything from Elegoo and you buy it from them, I get a small commission. So that's good for everybody. You don't pay anymore. You don't have to buy anything. You just have to visit their website. And if you want bonus entries, you can follow me on Twitter. And then also there is a secret code somewhere in this video. And last time I did that, people were smart. They want to game the system. They don't want to watch the video. They just want to come in and, you know, game the system and sort of enter the code and then, you know, win and not have to watch the videos. But I need you to watch the videos because I get money when you do that. So instead of people hawking the transcript and pulling it out, I'm going to write down the secret code on a piece of paper. It'll be very visible, very clear, but it will only appear on the video for 1 second. And so you enter that secret code on the Gleam and you get 5 bonus entries, and that's again people's reward for actually watching the content. Winner will be drawn in 1 week, next Sunday. I think that's December 7th or 8th, and then emails will go out to those lucky winners. So if you want to enter, link in the description below over to Gleam, fill it out, and it could be you. And so what else have I got on the docket for today? Well, we got that Mayo. I keep wanting to say MAOI, which is a drug or something. It's a pharmaceutical or something. MAOI. Moai, there you go. Got that one printing. That's going to eat up the Giga for the next like 3 days. On the covers, all the covers are quiet. Character models going on the bamboo. And then on the A1, we did some personal prints. But what I really would like to sort of finish up and wrap up is this Colt Python, the one that rotates. So if you've been following the channel, you know on some previous videos, I had this and I've had these parts just sitting here. They're almost ready for paint. I just need to print another dowel section for that. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna make it easy for myself, because if things aren't right in front of my face, I tend to forget them. I'm just gonna take this dowel and set it on my desk, and later today I'll pick it up, but what's this here for? And then I'll remember. So printing that dowel for this middle section, that way I can paint it, glue it all in, slap this all together, and then get another example up on the Etsy, because again, it's, you know, I'm only producing these big things and listing them once I have them ready to go. I did get the giant T-Rex skull listed on the Etsy yesterday, put it in at 12 hundo. Maybe someone will buy it. It's gotten views so far, and you know, maybe someone will buy it. It's the Christmas season, and I did put a tag in there saying it was like, it's good decoration for your kid's room. Because again, I'm of the belief that there's a class of customer out there. It's not quite me, even though I'd like to think that so sometimes, that just does not care about price. They see something that they want, and it's just like, yeah, I'll buy it. What's $1,200? It's not a lot of money to them. If you saw something you really, really wanted and it was 50 cents, that's a pretty insignificant amount of money to a lot of people. And they would say like, yeah, well, I don't care if it's 50 cents. Even if you kind of knew that it was maybe worth 10 cents, you probably wouldn't haggle over that 50 cents. You'd probably just pay it because it's like, whatever, it's 50 cents. There's a class of people out there that don't care how much things costs, and they'll see that 1,200 and they'll be like, okay, and then just get it. I've known many people like that. I've certainly done things like that myself, you know, and kind of made some unwise purchases or things where I knew it really wasn't worth that. But that's kind of what I'm going for here. The pictures, I tried to class them up a little bit. You know, it's not exact. I had it sitting on my coffee table and me sitting next to it. You know, I suppose I could have found a mansion or something and gone to take a picture there. But hey, doing with it what I can, and I can always mark the price down because I know there's room in there. So trying to get that going today. We need to find something else to start doing on the Cobras. As far as the CAD modeling program, I've kind of been going back and forth, and a lot of people chiming in with great suggestions. For a moment, I was like, you know, I'm gonna go with Fusion 360. I'm just gonna kind of say, this is my horse, I'm gonna ride it. It's just the learning curve is so severe, and you know, I started to look at it from a lens of, you know, cost versus benefit analysis, where it's like, you know, if I really put in a lot of time and learn a CAD program or just learn Fusion 360, yeah, it would better set me up in the future for modeling and things like that. But at this stage, it's like almost all of my prints are downloads or slight tweaks and modifications of attribution models. I don't know that I need to really change that or invest a ton of time into it. Now, I'll certainly keep the option open in the future, but for my purposes, Tinkercad does most things, and that's probably what I'm gonna stick with for the time being, because again, I'm not an engineer, I'm not producing a lot of functional prints, and it's not like I have a ton of ideas, you know, popping up in my head for functional prints and things like that. Like say the crypto mining stand, that was a great example. That'd be a great thing to model in Fusion 360, which I could do in the future. But then again, it's like the volume on those are pretty low, and also I'd kind of completely not been thinking about what I would normally do in any other circumstance if I needed a design for something. I would just outsource it. There are a lot of 3D modelers out there, and when you start looking at the prices of these things, if you go to Fiverr or just find a freelancer or things like that, there are tons of gurus out there willing to do jobs like this. You just give them the parameters, you go back and forth, and then you pay for it, and then you own it, and you avoided all that time. So again, if the cost-benefit analysis, you know, it's like spend hundreds of hours learning this program to produce parts that will still have a cost associated with them that I sell for profit, or just pay $100, $200, whatever it is, and then you have the model in a week, and then you can start selling it immediately. So that's the framework and the lens at which I look through it, and I think that's probably a better option moving forward. Now, when it comes to art models, that's probably maybe not as relevant or not as viable of an option, because art is very subjective, and if I have a D in my head for something that's art-based, then it's going to be hard going back and forth. But if it's something geometric, something like one of those mining stands where I can tell them, you know, holes need to be here, 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 and here, and it needs support here, here, and here, then they could probably stamp something out and go from there. Plus, a lot of AI stuff is, you know, really advancing pretty quickly. So on the art side of things, it may, in a few months or years, be just as easy to upload the parameters to some kind of AI and it spits out a mesh immediately. There are already programs like that that do that. It's just I've had not had good success with those, and I'm sure they're going to get better. Honestly, if you want to back up a step and say, like, should I invest hundreds of hours in Fusion 360 or hundreds of hours in Stable Diffusion with some kind of 3D rendering plugin? I'm thinking this is probably going to be a better investment of time. I'd love to know what you think in the comments below. I'm going to give those things a few hours to flesh out and come back and check on it. All right, so it's been a little while. Let's check in and see how things are operating. All right, so character models over here obviously have gotten a little further along in their print. Looking pretty good there. What else? What's not new? Let's check. Okay, so the Soval, someone mentioned to tighten the extruder knob, and after much research, I have concluded that this is the extruder knob. And if it is not, please someone say so. I'm not having nothing to print yet, but tighten this down just a little bit, and that should resolve my issue, and put some extra clips on the chain and put a zip tie here on the end to keep it from sliding nice and tight. Over here on the Mayo, the thioridazine, moving along pretty cool, but again, I'm gonna be straight with you. This infill pattern, I don't want to use this again, whatever it is. I guess this is reticular, where it's not really making walls, it's just overlapping, because this, you know, this is like guitar or a very loose weave of a quilt or something. Overall though, the walls seem, I mean, they have a little give, but I think again, as it moves up, you'll get less of that give as it all locks in. Overall though, surface finish looking fine. Probably have to do a filament swap here. You know, I'll let this one run out, and then hopefully another one that'll carry me through the night. So I was sitting around, I was kind of like, you know, we got the Colt Python, we got all these other things. I'm often trying new stuff, and how many things, I mean, if you've been a fan of the channel for a while, you know, there's a lot of stuff that I try that I just never go back to or kind of forget about. So maybe this will be one of them, but I was watching another 3D print creator that's documenting their journey, and I'm always curious what they're selling, because I want to see if that idea has any legs. And it was another guy, and all he seemed to be selling were coat hooks, like modern, sleek coat hooks, and he was getting orders for it. So I looked it up, and he's just not selling them for enough, in my opinion. Selling something for like anything less than $10, even if you can ship it for $2, it's just like, it's an insignificant amount of money. I'm more so concerned with the larger stuff, but I want to give it a shot. I want to do the test and see if I can get any traffic on it. So I went into Tinkercad and made the simplest coat hook possible with 2 screw holes, and that's what we're printing over here on the A1. Very simple geometric. It's got a 45 on it, 2 screw holes with, you know, the little stops in the middle. We'll see how that comes out. Down here on Cobra 4, we are doing a set of wings because the character model over here, she's a devil girl. She's got wings. So I'm trying it out here on the Cobra, nice and slow, 0.2 layer height, which is the same as the model. So we'll see if that comes out. Cobra 4 has been my best performer lately. And over here is the axle portion, the middle part of the Colt Python. Alrighty, and so probably keep doing a lot of things like that moving forward in the future. I was also thinking too about my Hornet nest. I got my Hornet nest here, I got it off the Soball this morning, and I started thinking, like, you know, look, I'm not trying to chase down dollars and pennies here, but I thought, you know, maybe it might be worth taking this to, there's I live in a ritzy part of town, I think. So there's a bird store for wild birds. They sell high-end bird seed and bird feeders and stuff like that. Wild Birds Unlimited. It's not Wild Bird, it is Wild Birds Unlimited, I think. I'm not sure if they sell these there, but it seems kind of like in their lane. So I was curious about going in there because maybe they're selling a lot for Christmas and be like, hey, I'm like the world's leader in selling fake 3D printed hornet nests of this precise variety. Would you like to buy 100 of them? And so maybe there's some fruit there. I don't know if I've got the patience to really do that, or if I want to wait until they open at 10 a.m. to do that kind of thing. But it made me think, like, you know, maybe there's more opportunity in like the local sales scene. And maybe that would like give someone watching, you know, some inspiration. Like, yeah, I got a bird store nearby. Maybe I'll do that. So I was thinking about doing that. And as far as all the other stuff goes, again, always on the lookout for new designs and things like that. Want to finish up the Colt Python, get that all glued together, and then start looking at the next thing. Maybe another gun model, but you know, I had hoped to sell another one by now. They get lots of traffic and lots of views, but I guess it's people just don't want to pull the trigger on a $400 widget. And so maybe it's time to massage the price down. I think perhaps my next strategy is, because I pre-packed the T-Rex skull just to know what's what, because I was having that same issue with the Glock going into oversized shipping charges. And so I'm thinking with the Glock, maybe I'll go ahead and package another one just to make absolutely certain I can get in under that oversized shipping cost and have like a consistent way to do it. And then maybe drop the price on it. That maybe would lead some, you know, encourage some more people to buy it, start generating more sales. It's just, you know, I'm at this weird stage where it's like, I don't want to do a lot of post-production on it, but it's a nice, say $200 rip when someone buys one, you know, more than $200 rip. So kind of been thinking about doing that as well. And let me know in the comments below, bonus points, you know, just universe points. Let me know what you like or don't like, or what keeps you watching with the videos. Is it more so just following the process, or is it me, or is it you want to see what I do to avoid that, or are you just waiting for a good idea to steal? Let me know in the comments below. Certainly enjoy the engagement and the feedback, just to kind of know what's keeping people around so I can continue doing it. And don't forget to hit the gleam in the description below to enter the giveaway, picking that in 1 week. Be sure to like the video because it's the nice thing to do, and subscribe for more content like this. I'm The Technicals. See you next time.